Hi everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's card project features a really charming die that has an outline and fill pieces, and I chose some really pastel soft cardstocks and framed it all out with some soft ink blending in the background that matches the cardstock. I've also got a second card created with the cast-offs, so let's jump in and take a look at the supplies that I'm using today. The die comes from Waffle Flower Crafts. This is the Love Outline. I love, no pun intended, the sans serif chunky style. My cardstock is from Simon Says Stamp, and I chose some distress inks that I thought would match those cardstocks. I've also got some scissors and tweezers, which are very important in this project, and you will see why shortly, along with micropore tape. For my sentiment, or my little sub-sentiment I guess, I'm going to use some of these pre-printed sentiment strips that I designed for Simon Says Stamp. They're great because you don't have to stamp. Just cut them apart and you're good to go. For cardstock, I've got a little bit of chiffon, which I'm going to be using for my card base, and some Neenah Solar White that I've already trimmed down. I'm also going to be using a mix of blender brushes. These are both from Simon Says Stamp and Picket Fence Studios. All right, let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is start cutting out the various colored portions of this project. I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and I'm going to pop out all of the centers, or the fills I guess you'd call them, but I'm also going to save the outlines. Those are going to go into a second card project that I'll show you at the end. So I'm going to take all of these colors and just run through the same process and cut out all the pieces. I'm not going to show you that on camera because I think you get the gist. I'm going to take a little scrap of the Neenah Solar White 110 pound and run that through because I need to reserve the outline, and this is what I'm going to use to fill in with all the colored pieces. So let's start doing that. I'm going to take each colored piece and work in rainbow order. So I'm working through a modified rainbow here. And I use the micropore tape because it is an awesome type of adhesive to hold pieces into a die cut outline, if that makes sense. Cut little strips, grab with the tweezers. It's very delicate work. I feel like I would be a good watchmaker. If you can make cards, you can fix a watch. Actually, I don't think that's true, but I think you know what I'm saying. It's very, look at how tiny this is. This is a tiny, tiny fill piece. And it takes a while, and I feel like I can't see what I'm doing because my glasses prescription is sorely out of date, but I'm working my way through, and I'm going to fill in all these pieces with this process. The micropore, the thing that's great about it, it is sticky, it will hold things together, but it's also very thin. It's not going to add any bulk to your die cut or your project. So I'm going to continue filling all of these little pieces in and taping them down. And don't be shy with the micropore tape, especially not if you want to pop up the piece, which is what I'm going to do. Now you can see here, there is quite a bit of tape on the back, but it is going to hold it beautifully in place. And that is what the love looks like when it's all filled in. Now it's time to do some ink blending, and I wanted to have coordinating colors behind each letter. So I'm taking my blender brushes, tapping off most of the ink, and I'm going with a very light hand because my goal is to have a glowy, soft look behind this die cut. And the colors I'm using are great. I think this is Scattered Straw. No, Squeezed Lemonade. I will have all the supplies listed below. I just sometimes don't remember what I'm using. But coming in with the Twisted Citron. Now this one I had to tap quite a bit off because it is pretty bold. I actually just re-inked this pad and it's glorious in its juiciness, but the goal, light. The other thing is I have blender brushes that are devoted to each color. And I have these little clips on them that I will also link below. They're called Brush Buddies. And it's nice so that I know when I need to blend purple, for example, I grab the purple brush. But that's the finished look. I think it looks really pretty. Now I'm going to take some foam squares. These are from Scrapbook Adhesives. These are just the regular mini squares, not the thin ones. I thought they would add a nice bit of dimension, so I'm placing them around strategically. And now I'll prep my card base. This is the chiffon cardstock, the lemon chiffon from Simon. Again, just a beautiful color. Taping the card base closed because I like my bases to stay flat while I'm adhering elements. I'll pop this up with some foam tape, and look at that pretty framing 1/4 inch space around the edge. And then I'll bring in my T-square to get this lined up straight right over that ink blending. Isn't that pretty? It's just glowy and soft. For the little tiny sub-sentiment, I'm going to cut out Sending You off camera. Now these have a white core. If you don't like the look of that, just take a dark pen. I like to use this Copic marker. This is the T10. And you just go over the edges very carefully so that white disappears. And it looks like you just put that right onto black cardstock. I'm popping that up with some thin foam squares. And there you go, sending love. To finish the card, I'm going to use a little bit of Gina K's Crystalline drops to adhere these silver sequins. These are from Pretty Pink Posh. It's a wonderful mix with 4 sizes in this particular package. And I'll place those all around for a little bit of shine, and that is the finished card project. It's very soft and very simple, but I am so happy with how this turned out. But I want to show you what I did with the cast-offs. Now, I glued these outlines down with some spray glue. I actually put them in the wrong order, but once I had them down, I'm like, nope, we're leaving it as is. I trimmed off the excess that was hanging over with my paper trimmer, and now I'll just use my dot runner, cover the back really quickly, and place this down onto the card base. And I love to use my Scor-Buddy for this. It's a quick way to line up full-size card panels onto card bases, just like that. And the last touch is to pop up little hearts that I die cut with a Simon Says Stamp nested heart die set. I thought that would be cute, just popping those in the center. And honestly, I love how this card turned out as well. It's very graphic, it's very simple, but these color palettes are fantastic. So I hope this inspires you to take a look at some of your softer card stock that you have in your stash and have some fun with a little ink blending in the background. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.